We are DMT. Like DMT is comprised of two people, which stands for doing more together, and dunia moja tunawakilisha. But at the same time, DMT is also a drug that's produced from the pineal gland. It is the gateway to further realities, and they say that it's normally released when you're born. So
And when you die.
And when you die.
I put the past in the past and go so future with the plan.
We infuse that in our artworks because that's how we see our art. You know, it's like gateways to other realities and stuff. You know,
And it's like shattering. We're like shattering normal reality. Any vile vitu ambavyo tumevizoea, we're kind of challenging your thoughts and your vision by bringing in some otherworldly vibe. And that's what DMT, like that's where the inspiration came from with that name. It's because this is something like, it's a gateway to a certain vision, to a certain perspective. And come out, you're switching how you're used to seeing things to a way that is like outside of maybe even your comfort zone, and that's the whole point.
yeah. So yeah, and behind, we broke it down to like dunia moja tunawakilisha because like we always see art as something that you don't do by yourself. Like normally, like art always like includes everybody as a family. So like we broke it down like DMT to dunia moja tunawakilisha because like we see DMT going everywhere, like worldwide, and like we want to contribute and like share each and everything we know with everyone we know and meet in our daily lives. So that's that's where dunia moja tunawakilisha comes from, and doing more together. That stems from me and Salma like doing a lot together, because at the same time, like when we look at the system right now, we see that the system is like the backbone of the system is like basically based on breaking down the basic unit of the family, you know, because you have the mom working that way and the dad working that way. There's a lot of separation, and like growing up as a kid, to me that was kind of like, you know, messed up, and I was like, how come like there's a lot of separation? So doing more with Salma, I'm like, this is beautiful. I'm working with my queen. We're helping each other in life and in work, which is life. So we give thanks, Salma. So that's...
And even like in this music, in the music and arts, right? We found that it's not just art, it's business, right? And there's a lot of people that are more business minded than art minded, and think of everything as a product, as a brand, as something to be consumed. And so it made it hard even to work with some people because the art form would be dumbed down or saturated to fit a certain market, au kupeleka sehemu fulani, kupeleka huku. But like when we just worked together, knowing that I respect your vision and you respect mine, and I respect what you have to say and you respect mine, it made it easier to just work. Yani badala ya kusubiri mtu atusponsor au mtu atuoneshe a direction or an opening, we just made our own opening. And tusipopata mtu akutufilm, I'll film him and he'll film me. Like we just like, we're like, this is not the time to start waiting for somebody to do it for you. This is the DIY generation. So it's the best thing to do is to work together as people. Any individuality, there's no way you can go anywhere and reach far by yourself. There's no such thing. Hata kama you're a solo artist, lazima kuna producers, kuna mixers, kuna all types of people that are also involved. So instead of like going out there and looking for those people, we work together and look for those people together, and it's like we're helping each other promote, and it becomes like so much easier to just do things together.
I wouldn't say we have different roles, because I mean we're all infused in the same arts. So like,
everybody plays like a crucial role, because I learn a lot from Mookie, and I when I started, I did not know graphics, Illustrator, you know, Premiere Pro. All that was Mookie's area. Me, I learn and I want to help. Like I want to make things easier, but I'm also aware that there's somebody that is good at this, and we don't have to all be great at the same things. Like we both do graffiti, but I do more like mural style graffiti. Mookie does more character style graffiti, or I do more throw ups and like fonts, while Mookie does more characters. And it's like, instead of like both trying to do the exact same thing, we bring in differences to create one bigger picture. And like with DMT, it's all about balance. Like it's all because it's a man and woman. We learn a lot about how the industry treats the man, how the industry treats the woman, how opportunities vary between what opportunities are made available to me, what opportunities are made available to him. And we learn a lot about like balance through this, because then we understand our own roles. Like, yeah, we're both poets, but mi waga nafanya na recite mashairi ya Kiswahili as well as English. Muki does some serious boom bap, and I sing, and we bring like our individuality to create one thing.
Respect. Business-wise, I might say like we do a lot of stuff on the side. Like we do freelance graphics, so like we do graphic design and stuff like that. And at the same time, I don't think it's like outside art form, because to me like graphics is similar as like doing graffiti but digital, you know. So like it's going good, and at the same time we also like most of our works are always surrounded in the art form, like creative works, because we have Soul Sana, where like we make jewelry like earth stones, like I'm wearing Soul Sana over here. Like we take crystals and stones and put them together, healing stones for healing and stuff. And yeah, it's going good. Yeah.
I feel like what we do is mix art. Like we create art and let that feed us, you know? Because a lot of people think art doesn't pay because they want art to pay in a specific way. You know, like everybody wants to be signed or to have some sort of like, I don't know, external, like somebody else coming in with lots of money funding their work. But what we do is we create art and have that art
Speak for itself.
speak for itself and give back we create the art, and then the money that comes from doing that art feeds back into the work that we do. So we make stickers, we do live graffiti, and we do live shows, and like we just utilize all our talents to bring income so that we can keep doing what we're doing and explore more in the arts.
And we like the process we normally have. We want to prove to people that art can feed you, because most people come out like, I do hip hop. What wanasema hip hop I use it, you know. Wakati to me nauza, because like from hip hop I get a lot of inspiration. I met you through hip hop. That's something to me. I gained a lot. I mean, like kuuza, it doesn't mean money wise and stuff like that. So we're trying to like get rid of that concept and understand that you get rich in life at the same time, you know, giving back to people too at the same time.
It's all patience.
Yeah,
Like there's no such thing as, you know, like that overnight fantasy, that blowing up in an instant. You gotta cultivate. It's like planting trees. You gotta plant them and wait for them to grow. So at first, obviously, we've been doing free shows. There's times when like our art, we were charging very low for a graph just because we wanted to do more practice and to have the publicity. Because like I learned that there's 3 forms of income, right? Or 3 forms of finance. There's like money, exposure, and I forgot the other one. Social media. Those, like, you could go to some place where they're not really paying you, but they have a huge social media following that will allow you to connect with more people. That's also a form of like you're gaining from that, even though you're not gaining money. Like there's a lot more to gaining than just money, and you just gotta be patient with it, because it doesn't happen overnight. Nobody is gone on overnight. Nas did not blow up overnight.
Yeah.
Like you just gotta be patient and keep doing it, and don't listen to other people's blah blah blah. Just do it how you think, because you're the artist. It's your form of expression. You're the creator. So do it how you think it's supposed to be done, because other people have already seen whatever it is that they think they need in life. So what you have and your vision, that's unique, and you gotta just keep that going, and it'll pay. It'll pay as long as you do what you love.
That's right.
The universe will finance you in the most amazing ways. Even if you don't get money, people will give you opportunities to travel. You will get opportunities to meet amazing souls. Like there's more to business than just money. Like there's networks. There's
networking,
so much. There's a huge web of how business really works. and the money is just
A bonus.
a bonus and a good part of that. Yeah.
Okay, I'd say it's growing. It's growing because we have more platforms now than we did 5 years ago. Like I remember back when we met, there was only like one platform, hip hop wise. There was Tamaduni music happening in Sasani Club, you know. But right now we got different platforms blowing up, you know. And like when it comes to poetry, we have different platforms blowing up. We have Soma Book Cafe, Alternative Nights. We have Lyricist Lounge, you know. So I think it's going in a beautiful direction right now, you know. And like people are paying more attention to the art form more than they did before. Because Zamani, like when you do certain stuff like art, like me myself, like the art I do, most of the people, like especially my pops, like his generation, they're used to like people sitting on a table, get desk jobs and stuff like that, you know, and they don't believe that if you paint, you can get an income from painting and stuff like that. So like, mwenye sometimes nafanya kazi mtu ananiita mimi fundi, sababu napaka rangi, you know. But those are two different professions, a graffiti artist and a fundi, you know.
Fundi,
Sema,
lakini fundi wa
you
art
know,
though.
yeah. Someone like right now, with all these platforms awakening or rising up, people can distinguish the difference in the art forms and like they see the importance. Because like even like you have Poetry 255 right now, they're going to schools, you know, and teaching children poetry. That's something huge, you know. That's tomorrow's generation, you know. Like back in the days, mwanangu, tulikuwa nafundishwa ngonjera. Like ain't nobody's doing that anymore nowadays. Sasa kuona watu kama poetry shoot, I mean,
Poetry 255.
Poetry 255 doing that it inspires me as a poet myself. I'm like, man, in a few years we're gonna have like thousands of poets representing Tanzania, you know. And because like and platforms like these, they are the voice for the voiceless, you know. Because like most people have a lot of stress and vex happening because of the system and stuff like that, and the only way they can get it out is through rhymes, through poetry, through art, or you. So like even like usually I remember like we went to what's this place called, Watering Hole. They had this like free market, and they called me and Kelvin, like, and they told us to like go put our stuff there so we can sell them like merchandise and stuff. And I had an opportunity to like put my paintings on display, you know, which was something new to me, because normally I would do my paintings, I have my canvases at home and just stay at home. You know, I'd take pictures of them on the internet and stuff like that on Instagram, and people like, most people like want to buy them. Most people like will just like big you up and stuff like that. But I had a platform where I could put my work, and I was like so happy. Or you were in Tanzania, I was like, dude, you know, I can sell my artwork. And like people come and be like, I'll take that for 40,000. And I start to learn how much my art is worth. Unajua kwa sababu sometimes unakaa nyumbani unachora unachukulia poa, unasema nitauza 10,000. Unaenda kwenye sehemu kama hiyo, mtu anakuja anakuambia bwana anachukua kwa 50. I'm like, okay, shit, what did you see I didn't see? Unajua, kwa hiyo like at the same time we are learning, and like I really give thanks the pace we're going. Watu watataka waikimbize, but this pace is beautiful because like the slow we go, the more we learn. You know, so I give thanks. Come on.
Yeah, especially because like poetry, yani I'm so happy that poetry has such a huge platform, because we're rich in poetry. Yani Tanzanians, sisi ni wanashairi. Yani mashairi ni, that's something that I've been hearing, taarabu, unajua yani ngonjera, na mashairi, like we have literature, books upon books on mashairi in Tanzania. And yani mashairi ya Kiswahili, yani sophisticated, amazing literature. So having people being more interested in literature now and being more interested in, kwa sababu watu siku hizi yani vitabu yani watu, we don't publish books as much as we used to. There's not as many published writers as much as we would like to have. Lakini with having more poets, that's already giving an initiative maybe to collect a series of poets and do a poetry book. Then now it's like the possibilities are there, and the materials and the inspiration is there. So then it even inspires us, because then it's like, kama tukiwa tuna sleki, lazima kutakuwa kuna inspiration. You know, like even when we were so focused on graph, because it's all about balance, right? So it's kind of like a challenge sometimes to balance between doing visual arts and performing arts. Lakini uzuri ni kwamba they go hand in hand. Like the places that we go to do graph are usually the places that would perform as well. And the places that we get invited to go and do poetry also have more than enough room for them to incorporate graffiti.
Respect.
So even when we're so focused on graph, because like there's a huge demand for that and there's huge love coming in for that, just because there's not that many people, there's a lot of us, but there's not that many getting recognition, and there's not a lot of platforms to seme ambazo ni they're all about graffiti compared to other countries. Yani huwezi kwenda to same and there's like, oh, there's this place that definitely has huge murals all over the place where I can get inspired to do graffiti, or an open space where artists can go and practice. It's usually like either private walls that you get commissioned, or at specific events that don't happen on a daily. Kwa tuseme mara moja kwa mwezi. But when we have like poets out here doing beautiful things, it also inspires us to incorporate poetry in our graph, to bring the two arts together because they go hand in hand. I mean, they're both creative. And in terms of like in graffiti, there's that whole challenge where it's not really recognized as an art form in a lot of countries. Even the most developed countries, ndo kabisa, afadhali hata huku. In developed countries, they think of it as the sport of the hoodlums, like it's just we're out here vandalizing, when in truth it's like, and I read a book about this, or I think I watched a movie on it where they were talking about how ukiangalia everywhere you look there's advertisements, people telling you what to think, what to consume, what to absorb into your mentality. Like with graph, this is somebody choosing to take control of the message that they give into society. So this is people that don't have money, they don't have any influence, they can't afford to put a billboard, but they still have a message. And we all have a right to hear that message and that creativity and that inspiration or whatever it is that influenced them to do that graph. Of course, obviously, like we're not encouraging people to just go and vandalize on private properties or on mosques and stuff. Like there's rules to this. There's rules that we follow. Like I would never go and deface a place of worship. Everybody knows that. In graph, we all know that you don't deface a place of worship. And so like we also understand that as adults, kwamba, there's places we can do our certain art and there's places that we can't. And we're not gonna try force ourselves into places that don't need our art forms or don't appreciate it. We do it for the voiceless, like Muki said, we do it for people that don't, that yani wao labda wanatembea tu sehemu and they're able to experience art, because some places you have to go so far to go and find art. Tanzania, we don't appreciate art as much as we do, and it's definitely changing. But yani kusema kwamba there's places that we can go to absorb visual arts, labda hanged up paintings. There's like 3 or 4 places that we could go to and see an exhibition or see some short films and things like that. But like with graffiti, it's like we bring it into the society. Instead of them going to a museum, the whole world is the museum. The whole world is the canvas. And you can just walk by and learn something from somebody else. And it's just so powerful to be able to do that. And all you need is a spray can. So it's like the art of the classless. Like there's no need for money. There's people that shoplift spray cans to go and spray. Like it's one of those things. It's for the people.
I'd like to say vandalism. All right. Okay. Vandalism. It's you vandalize something without anybody's consent. But you are like, one rule to graffiti is that you have to have consent. Like if you go to a wall, you see a wall, it's beautiful. You go talk to the owner and be like, yo, your wall's got potential. I want to do this, this, and this. That's cool. But when it comes to vandalizing, most people just take their cans of spray or charcoal or whatever they can like put a print on and just go and like, go crazy and stuff like that, which is not, like, which is a crime at the same time. And like, you have a lot of that huku. Like, ukipita mtaani, unakuta watu wamechora na mkaa, matusi and stuff like that, unajua? Kwa sababu it can be art, but still, like, if you did not ask anybody's consent about that place, that art turns into a crime, unajua? And everybody like oversees the beauty of the art and say like, wahuni tu, unajua? So like, people need this, and I've been speaking to a couple of like hip hop, these what are these platforms? Yeah, I was talking to some dudes, like kama you have Watunza Misinke happening in Sasani Club, or anybody who has any platform ambayo inahusiana na hip hop. Like we always like talk to them and like say like they should like infuse all elements within their teachings, so like people can know the difference. Especially like in graffiti, hiyo hapo like most people wanajua kama ukienda beach, like ukienda like kama Kigamboni kule Kimo, what's it called? Shadibwa and stuff like when you go to the walls over there, you see people like writing weird stuff, and at the same time, they could use that time instead of writing stupid stuff. They can write like positive messages, you know, just to uplift the people who pass around those areas and stuff like that. Because like you have different arts, like the one you see at Jangwani, alitengeneza loco on the side, kipindi cha uchaguzi in 2015, he had like this lady with eyes, like a Masai with eyes. Like most people, sometimes nikipitaga pale, unakuta mamaza wanashangaa, hii picha nzuri, sijui nani kaichora. Na mimi nawaambia mbongo wewe kaichora. Alafu kuambia hivyo wanafurahi kishenzi, unajua kabisa yani huyu anajua kabisa this is not vandalized. Anajua kabisa huyu ni msanii amekuja hapa kachukua time yake kachora. So like stuff like that, I mean, we need like platforms that could help educate people on the difference between like vandalizing someone's like property and using it with consent to
like,
do it. Yeah.
beyond consent, right? Like going into graffiti, there's some spaces that are public spaces, and there's spaces that like I do agree with what you're saying about like consent, but at the same time there's spaces that watu wanaenda wanaweka posters. Unajua, like those spaces that mtu ataweka like multiple posters of a certain advertisement. And that's an area that somebody could utilize to educate, even without consent. Like, I think that's even one thing that I really enjoy about graffiti is that like beyond this whole thing notion of like this is owned by this person, this is owned by that person. Unakuta there's a wall that's not owned by anyone. That used to be a house, and the house collapsed, and now it's just mud and, you know, like, and just like an incomplete wall. Who are you gonna ask permission to paint on that wall? You know, like sometimes, because like graffiti is so temporary, anybody can come and deface your work. The place can be painted over, like, and yeah, and that's the beauty of it to me, is that like sometimes you just gotta do it. I'm not saying do it at a private place, but if there's a wall that there's no reason not to educate through that, except sometimes we have wasted resources. We have a space that is beautiful, like in yani it's out of the way, same flani matakataka tu, but it's not really being utilized. And with spaces like that, having to look for a person to ask for permission, it's still kind of like a form of like you have to conform. Like I have a message, but I still need permission to express that message. But with graffiti, definitely there's that fine line, right, between vandalism and graph. But with graph, yeah, we follow a certain set of rules. There's certain regulations that all graph artists know, like don't graph on top of somebody else's work. That's something that graffiti artists know. Don't graph like we said, places of worship. We all know that. Private properties. We all know that. As long as you don't, like, there's those checklist. The checklist is checked. Every other place is at your disposal, as long as you're not abusing your power. You know, because it is power. Being able to speak directly to the people through your art, that's a form of power. So going there and unaandika matusi, even if it's a public space na amna mtu anaitumia hiyo same, you're still not helping the society. You're not using your art form to say anything. You're just saying a swear word. We all know swear words. Like, what is it about the swear word that made you feel? At least explain pale mimi nimeandika hivi kwa sababu ni yani mtu kaniudhi kweli na imebidi ni express myself. At least then we'll learn something. So it's all about also just it's that stimulation and that inspiration. You gotta inspire with your work, with just by being yourself. Don't just like be passive aggressive about it. Like, oh, I've got a chalk, so therefore I'm gonna write on other people's walls, because then you wasted that chalk. You wasted the wall. It needs to have a purpose. Like with graph, that's the difference between graph and vandalism. There's a purpose to what you're saying. to what you're doing, even if it's shagala bagala. But how you wrote it is supposed to have a purpose of some sort.
That's right. Graph is no different from billboards. It's like unapewa like a big billboard blank. You have the power to put the message there. Come on, like I mentioned, 2015, the elections, they used Wachata to do most of the campaigns where they'll go around and
Shout
like,
out to Achak.
yeah, shout out to Wachata, the first graffiti crew in Dar, So yeah, they inspired a lot of youths, by putting up inspirational notes like za uchaguzi and stuff like that around. Usually, the World Bank did something at Jangwani. So unajua Jangwani waga kuna matatizo ya mafuriko na nini. So they put a message over there at Jangwani, like 3 walls, and they put like 2 people in the middle, and on this side you see like a good view of like Jangwani with the bridge properly built and nicely, and on the other side you see mafuriko. So you see like what's happening now, and like their vision in the future. So like that's how like people can utilize graffiti like to spread awareness or spread a message and like express themselves. Yeah, manifest certain visions, because like me kila siku nikipita pale Jangwani nikiangalia ile painting ile, I'm like, this is beautiful. Unajua hata watu wakipita, watoto wanapita shule, wanajua kabisa hii ndio kinachotokea Jangwani, mafuriko wanakipitia, alafu kwa sababu ni pale pale, kwa hiyo they relate to it. Unajua kwamba hii ndio inapotokea, msimu wa mvua ikitokea ndio kwa hivi. Kwa hiyo hapa tukikaa kidogo like mambo yakienda bie, in a few years daraja litakuja. Unajua they'll put like nice irrigation systems and stuff like that. So that's a positive way to use graffiti,
And to inspire.
Yeah, man.
Graph is so powerful because it's one of those things that it's the art of the streets.
That's
it's
right.
street art, right? So that means that it's available to everyone. That's powerful right there. It means that it's not something that you need to have a certain you need to be of a certain class to be able to enjoy. It's an art form of the people that have been underestimated, so it gives hope in that way where like you could come from nothing and you could have not had any art experience. But then if you're dedicated to a certain vision or a certain creative, especially if you have a certain message, it makes it easier for you to reach your people. We've been told that like graffiti is expensive, it's an art form ya kimbele, but like everything has a price, and when something is worth it, you have to spend money to make money type of like energy. It's only 3,000 for a can, na hiyo 3,000 unakuwa umejitoa. Ukianza kuhesabu other art forms also, they have their own costs. Any sport has its own cost. Ukitaka mpira, sio unacheza mpira, bado unahitaji kununua viatu, unahitaji kununua mpira. Everything has its cost, and you gotta see, is this worth it? Like you get 2 cans, but you already have an art piece. So it's all about like seeing your priorities and what's worth spending money on. And some people might think art isn't, but to us it's worth it. It's worth spending 3,000 shillings on a can.
Oh, there's so many opportunities, man.
Excalibur.
There's so many opportunities. Come on, like a few months ago, we never knew that the World Bank would need artists to like, spread the message. So you have that. Though we lived in Zanzibar, and like when we came back to Tanzania, we got a gig to do graffiti at the Mayfair gym, which was like wonders. It was, there's so many stuff. There's so many opportunities out there. You just have to get yourself out there so people can see that there's certain people who do certain things. Or like as an artist, you need to like network, be around other artists so you can know the loop and how the industry works, so you can understand how to set yourself up and build yourself where, and like to kuzibia nani gepo ambazo unaona unabidi uzibe and stuff like that, Yeah. Opportunities zipo, ni wewe tu kujiweka tu out there.
And don't be picky.
Yeah,
don't
never
be picky.
Yeah.
Like if you really like art, you will do it anywhere, whether ni Uswahilini, whether ni Bush Town, because you're the artist, so whatever your message is, you're speaking it to the world. And the world consists of all types of people. We just have to be flexible. Like I think we've got more opportunities than I expected. Kwa sababu art is on high demand.
Oh, yeah.
Way more higher demand than I expected. For photo shoots, they want like boards or like backgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
Utakuta for schools, mtu anataka uje ufundishe something fun.
Yeah.
Like
Even,
art is just the window to the community.
yeah.
So
Like even like we do digital art. Like we have so many like gigs like digital, like working on animations for musicians. You know, like cartoons, infusing cartoons with music and stuff like that. You know. We did graffiti at music studios, like Camille Freeman's studio, you know. So, yeah, I mean, there's so many opportunities out there. Like Salma said, don't be picky. So if you become picky, like you are what you attract, you know. So if you say like, I can't do that, no opportunity will come your way, you know.
also know your worth.
Yeah,
So
and know your worth. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just because it's street art doesn't mean we're gonna do it for free. It's fun, but we also gotta eat and we also gotta buy spray cans.
Sure.
So don't be out here like, oh, we want to support your artwork, like inautaki kutulipa. Like it's like any other type of art form. You still have to support.
Yeah, and
the
people should understand art is art. Amna cha wakishua, amna cha sijui mtoto wa mbwa. You know, I mean, there's no class in art. We're kama unafanya art, we're art. Your art will speak for itself. Yeah, don't let anybody say sijui your art is not right. Kwa sababu hata mimi mwenyewe like mimi nafanya vikaragosi like cartoons and stuff. Unajua like sometimes when I was learning, I would draw hands and stuff like that and someone would come to me and tell me, wewe hujui kuchora mikono. Nitaambia hamna, kama labda mimi ndo mkono ninavyotaka kuchorwe hivyo. Kwa nini usifikirie hivyo? Unajua kwa like never let anybody limit you like art wise. Just do you. Your art will speak for itself. Kiachana na vyama unaenda mbali sana. Tungeanza shuleni kwanza. Unajua like schools need art. Like so kama mimi I had the opportunity to study in both schools, NECTA na IGCSE. Nimetoka DIS mwanangu, art ni somo la kawaida kama hesabu kama nini. Nimetoka huko nimeingia NECTA, art nakuja kukutana nayo kwenye biology tu. Na science, kuchora majicho, kuchora moyo basi. Lakini sehemu zingine hamna. Lakini wakipromote sanaa shuleni kwanza, unajua ndio itaanza kustem sehemu zingine kwenye hivyo vyama na nini, lakini the root sana mashuleni man.
Na sisi pia we need to have unity as artists, cause like going into graph coming in sisi tuko tunajua wachata tu. You know, lakini there's East Walls crew, there's these girls who Women Express, there's like people that just doing it on their own, lakini tupo wengi, like way more than I ever thought. Sure. Right? So that means that labda hamna ushikamano. There's no unity in that way where we don't come together to say, hey, let's create something together as a graffiti art form. Like, because we can do something, but we can do so much more as a community when we all come together. Sure. And then it makes it easier. It makes it, yani kwanza materials, tuseme mimi nikichanga cans, nikichanga 10,000, mke akachanga 10,000, another graffiti artist, tunapata mabox hata 4. Unajua? And we can do huge projects together, because it's not about like, oh, mimi sijui natoka crew fulani, mimi sijui natoka wapi. It's all about like, this is an art form that reflects our community. Kwa hiyo unaweza kukuta watu wengine wanataka kujifunza. Me, I like to focus on women. Like I feel like this is like hip hop needs 1,000,000 to 1 more women. Yani more and more women. Any woman out there that wants to learn graph, number ni check. Any woman that's out there, obviously men too, but like when a woman checks me and says I want to do graph, I'm like, to meet sangapi, to meet wapi, I'm ready. Because at the end of the day, it's about spreading love and allowing other people to also have a means to express themselves. So we gotta work together. And you're saying like kuanzisha seme labda kamati or something. I think social media is a great way to first practice. Honestly, yani usidhani tu kwamba yani labda everybody deserves our recognition, but you also gotta work hard. You gotta practice. You see, yani it's not something we love it, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. This is not painting a small this is a wall, guys. Like huo ni mkono unafanya kazi, right? So you gotta be passionate, and you gotta be like selfless in a way, because it's not about you. It's more about your work and what it's saying. Because we just gotta work together, and we gotta be willing to collaborate with each other.
Respect,
I think
yeah.
that's the most important thing. More than even starting like a WhatsApp group chat or something, it's just either one-to-one even, just being like, hey, I'm working with Graffiti today. Shout out to Graffiti. I'm working with Graffiti today. Unajua yani that already hapo kuna mtu mmoja ambaye unamjua mtu mmoja ambaye you're like, oh my gosh, this collaboration is great. Like, it's all about working together. We gotta work together.
Like, yeah, like even if we look at most of our friends, like on social media who are abroad, like other graffiti artists, you see a lot of their works are collaborations.
They collab all
like
the
one
time.
big wall, you see like 3 different characters from 3 different people.
Different styles,
which
completely.
is different styles, and they have their own message. Which is
And
so beautiful.
hata kama uelewi what they're really like communicating, there's already that message of them working together and expressing art. That's radical. Like people doing art, that's a radical movement too. That's a revolution. Like 3 people with 3 different artworks choosing to share space. That's a revolution right there already. It doesn't have to always be about fighting the oppressor. The whole system oppresses all of us. So us just working together, we're fighting the oppression.
And like one thing I think about like art is all about having fun. Like the more you work together with other people, peace, love, unity, and having fun. The more you work with more people, the more fun you have. Because I remember like we went to Watunza Misingi. It was just me and Salma's DMT. You know, we were working on a wall, a huge ass wall.
And Andrew was there.
Then I'm getting to that part. Then we called Andrew, and Andrew came over, and he put his part on the wall, and we had so much fun. But and at the same time, it made me feel good because we were doing more together. You know? Yeah, man. And when we go to Watunza Misingi and check out the wall, we'll be like, that's Salma, that's Mookie, that's Andrew, you know? So like we're proud of that, and we know kabisa like we're collaborating and helping each other, and we're actually inspiring other people to work together. Yeah, man. Not only like graffiti artists, also MCs, and also other artists with different mediums too.
Oh, the process. It's like it's a very intuitive one. You know, it's not something that I can say there's definitely steps to or something. Like in terms of poetry, labda mimi huwaga naanzaga na how I'm feeling that day and what needs to come out. Yani kama tuseme ndugu ananivex, that also is like an issue, and I'd have to write it down. Yani unajua vitu vingine unashindwa kuvisema tu hivyo, sometimes hata ukiviongea bado yani vex inakuepo, but when you put it down and are able to turn that into an art form, you're transmuting that energy from negative to something not even positive, to just something pure, where it's no longer about your vex. It's an art form now. It's literature, and in terms of graph,
in terms of graph, man, it's daily dealings, man. Or you are like what you see when you wake up. Come mimi maskani, like when you come to my crib, like my room is a studio. Like we got paintings everywhere, like art, and I draw in everything, cardboards, like yellow papers, anything. Go like it's what inspires me at that moment. So I doodle a lot. Salma doodles a lot, and sometimes like we can just sketch something and just leave it. And at the end of the day, we'll be like, oh shit, this has potential. I'm gonna put this on a wall. Or go like we have like the process is natural. Or like it's just like drinking water in the morning.
There's never really like a, you're just a reflection of your community. Kwa hiyo like the inspiration just comes from our lives and society, like how women are treated in a society. That inspires me to draw up something about women, and like this issue of contraceptives and how they're banned. That inspired me to do art pieces on that, talking about that. Kwa hiyo our art just reflects our position in society and how the society reacts to us.
Like this is a good example.
Mwili wangu mali yangu.
Mwili wangu mali yangu. We got stickers over here, like raising awareness. This is Sister Dada's work, you know. So this is for all the ladies and men, you know. Lindeni Miliano, you know. True that.
Oh my gosh, I see it standing firmly.
Respect.
Being recognized as an art form for real, being taken seriously as a means of business, as a means of production. People are going to be able to employ themselves using their artwork. It's going to have a respected position in society. It's going to be a place where people seek inspiration, seek knowledge and wisdom, seek answers. Yani, it's going to be something that, like what we see it as right now, ambaye ni sisi watu ambaye niseme labda mtu anaweza asituchukue seriously. They're gonna see it the way you see a CEO somewhere and unadhani kwamba, oh, this person has a position in society. That's how art is gonna be like in Tanzania. We're gonna be understood as a reflection of society.
Respect.
What about you, Boo?
Yeah, I mean, I can just say that we live in the now. And like I said earlier, 5 years back, we didn't have any platforms. 5 years back, we only had Mpoto. That's the only poet. And right now, we have so many. You're a poet, I'm a poet, Salma's a poet. We have Poet Pepita. You know, we have Zahura. Shout outs to all of them, Lee and Alex. But so that's 5 years from then. But now we have so many platforms. So 5 years from now, man, it's gonna be beautiful. Like
50%.
Yeah, and like, I don't think like anybody would be like working for the government anymore. Like people be working for themselves, or as it's supposed to be, because we're individuals, and like we don't need to rely on anybody to get anywhere. We need to rely on ourselves. So I see a lot of individual, independent works coming out in the future.
And art being available to the public.
Art
public
being available
schools,
to everybody,
public,
no classes. Come on, no classes.
Art as art, just being part of our culture, part of our just day to day, just beautify the whole world with it. Because what is life without art? What is life? What is art without life?
Sure.
Yo, you're not even ready. Yo, we've been working on some serious projects. Could expect some music works coming through. We've got some animation works coming through, stickers. We're just about to go freak on it, like on stickers, graffiti, like just live graffiti and more graffiti all over Africa, all over the world, but specifically Africa, because we're still exploring our beautiful continent. So more and more collaborations with artists all over Africa and all over the world, specifically people of color, people of like all sorts of everything, just backgrounds and styles, and it's just y'all better be ready. Just like take a breath and enjoy the DMT trip. The journey it's begun.
Yeah, we'd like to inspire like people back in schools, man. I want to go back to schools, because like one thing that pisses me off or pissed me off is that it's not in Asante Kayumbas, or like normal government schools. And like I'm pretty sure once it happens, because like I have my nephew, he's 7 years old, he loves to draw like nobody's business, and they do not draw at school. So like when he comes home,
there's like all these kids that are in Muki studio just drawing.
Just random kids in my studio just drawing, and I teach them how to draw eyes and stuff like that, and it really inspires me. I'm like, oh shit, they talented. And they're so small, so they can draw cars, and they're very visual.
Just soak it up.
Unajua, kwa like watoto wa shuleni mwanangu wana potential nyingi sana. Unajua, so like I see like a lot of artists like being birthed from schools. Unajua.
And artists wapo, yani mimi kitu ambacho nimeona, there's people that are so talented lakini their priorities. Mtu yani anadhani kwanza nina familia ya kulisha and all these type of things. So because we already put this mentality that art is either for people that already have money or are willing to be broke, So we're seeing art as being something that people will go into for themselves.
Without thinking twice.
Yeah, because if you're talented and people need your artwork, people need that. They need that vision. They need that inspiration. Because you never know what art you will inspire in somebody else with your artwork. So any hivyo kwamba public schools zitakuwa zina art. Public spaces for poetry, ngonjera tu zinakuwa recited in the streets. Like art just being a free form creation of its own.
We're looking forward to revolutionizing the cartoon industry too, because like kibongo bongo hatuna katuni. Unakumbuka kitambo Zipo chache. Katuni mwanangu sema kama Cartoon Network hamna.
Yeah,
Yaani katuni sasa hivi tuna katuni moja tu, my brother wa nani wa New Bongo, I mean nani Bongo Tunes pale wanafanya akili na nini. Zamani man katuni tulikuwa naangalia Sara ile ya Kenya. Wakumbuka kulikuwa kuna hadi magazeti yake na nani. Asa man, Wabongo tunabidi tufanye mambo kama sisi kama DMT, like we want to revolutionize the cartoon industry.
Yeah.
Nani my nephew kila siku mimi natengenezaga animations nyumbani, anakuwa inspired, is like unajua unatengeneza unajua, and I'm like yeah, I mean like if you want I can also teach you, na unaona yeye mwenyewe ana passion unajua, kwa like instead of like us adults like taking over the cartoon system too, like we can even have children doing it, unajua, taking part in the process unajua. So like yeah, we're looking forward to revolutionize the cartoon industry too. Yeah man.
First of all, hi.
Yeah.
Support art. That's all I can say. Support art. Like, put it in everything. We've had art in magazeti. Yani mimi nilikuwa nasomaga magazeti kuangalia katuni tu zile at first, you know. So, know that art makes a difference. It causes a certain, it evokes something in children, in people, you know, even if they don't understand it, they appreciate it. Kwa hiyo we gotta, please support with all you have, support it in the public spaces.
Sure. Afu wasichukulie kama kitu foreign, kwa sababu naona like kama government inachukulia kama it's something foreign. Mimi nachukulia art kama ni utamaduni wetu man.
Yeah.
Sisi tumeanza kuchora tokea hata kabla wakoloni hawajaja. Umeona ukienda Amboni Caves kule Tanga mwanangu. Yaani examples ziko nyingi sana. Kwa hiyo man wasichukulie kama kitu foreign, kwa sababu man mimi mwenyewe naona ni kipaumbele mwanangu kwenye sanaa na michezo, wanapa michezo sana, like the forefront, sanaa imetulia nyuma unajua. Kwa hiyo like we should like embrace our culture. Kwa sababu mimi naona kama tunaichukulia poa culture yetu unajua, tunakimbilia za wazungu man unajua.
Yeah, respect the art.
Yeah.
It's not that serious. Yani haya mambo sijui eti unaanza threaten person because they did an art piece on you. It's not that serious. Art is meant to do that. It's meant to evoke. It's meant to kind of like stare you and provoke. Like we shouldn't take it too seriously. We should just let it be what it is. It's art.
True.
It's art. It's not politics. It's not math. It's not science. It's art.
Yeah, afu cha mwisho waongeze institutes za sanaa.
Yes.
Umeona local institutes. Unajua kwa hiyo like institutes ziwe nyingi, local institutes, kwa sababu kibongo hapo ukiangalia institutes za sanaa unakuta ni za wageni. Umeona wamekuja, wameleta fund zao, wametupa sisi sehemu ya kuweka sanaa zetu na but we need local institutes. Yeah, it's a class thing. Kwa hiyo tukipata local institutes mwanangu itasaidia kisha.
Tutakuwa tunajitegemea.
Tunajitegemea wenyewe kama tinga mani yangu. Umeona mzee katokea mbali man, ameshadanza lakini mpaka leo yupo. But right now they're using his art as a tourist thing. Unajua, and ishapoteza ile nani yake, unajua.
Na mpaka hatumkumbuki jina.
Hatumkumbuki. I don't even remember how it looks like, unajua.
Imagine sasa vitu kama hivyo tuna museums za sanaa ambazo wanafunzi wanaenda, so kwa sababu tuna makumbusho, so we can do it, and we do have the spaces. Kwamba tu yani we need to make space for education and art being one thing. Art education.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Damn.
Waves?
Waves.
No?
You're close though.
Am I?
Yeah.
Like
Waves. You're close.
like the ocean?
You're talking about like water waves?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, like telephone?
Music?
Like aerial waves?
An echo.
Echo.
Damn.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Narudi.
Yeah.
Damn, that was nice.
That's
that
a deep
was a
one.
good one.
That's deep.
I serve you by expiring.
Or by dying, sort of.
Okay.
I serve you by dying. Anza.
The wind is your enemy. You're fast when you're thin, and you're... Damn.
Serve you by dying.
I serve you by dying.
That's a tricky one.
I wanted to say fruits, but...
I was about to say, mfagiwa, kama cheleo.
The wind is my enemy.
Yeah.
Wind is my enemy.
What, could you repeat it again?
I serve you
The
by
sun.
dying.
No? Damn.
Close.
Serve you by dying.
The moon.
A light bulb. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
good
is
Bob,
it?
yeah.
What is
I'm
it?
good.
Candle.
Ah!
Oh shit! Yo, that was so
Nah.
direct.
Hey, you're like source of light, and I was just going like sun. Moon. It was
It's
under
like
the
the
source of
wind
light.
is my enemy.
Chill.
It's like,
Ah,
what is
massive.
that?
Damn, that's tricky.
Space. That's what I was thinking.
In the middle
I
of
thought
March and
space.
April. Oh yeah.
I cannot be seen at the beginning
Air.
or end of it.
No?
Sorry.
Yeah?
I said air.
Like
Air.
space? Like empty space? No?
March and April. And you begin?
It's not that deep.
It's not that deep.
Oh, okay. I'm at the I'm at
In the middle of March.
March and April.
middle of March. And?
And April.
And? And? Like
And.
the word and? I mean, it is at the beginning of March and April.
You're on the right path, but no. Second chance.
And then you said, what's the second part?
I can't be seen at the beginning
You can be seen at the
or
end.
end of either month.
It can't be seen at the
You're on the right
beginning.
path.
Yeah?
Hmm.
Or end of either month. Oh, wait. March? R? Yes! Yes! You better recognize.
Hold on. Yo,
Intellectual.
school me. That does
I'm
not
at the
make
beginning
sense.
of March.
In the middle.
And I'm at the middle of March,
March and
and
April.
April.
Uh-huh.
The letter R.
R. A-P-R.
In the
Is it gonna be
beginning.
something?
At least umepata moja na mimi umepata moja jamani.
Spill.
Mpaka na sweat.
This
That's actually encouraging.
Too encouraging. Shit. Oh yeah, politician. Oh yeah. Oh geez, I know this one.
God.
A planet and a measure of heat, a thermometer.
That's what I was thinking
No,
the first
no.
thing.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
You're what? You're a god? A planet.
Saturn. No. I was just gonna like
Mercury.
list up all the
Yeah,
planets.
Mercury.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like about to list up, okay, Pluto, Jupiter, Neptune.
Yeah, damn.
I was about to say Windows.
You are a window
Microsoft.
shopper. Nice.
Microsoft Windows.
Nice.
Microsoft.
Nice.
No, that does not mean you get to touch my crown, low cut, braid out, or afro. These aren't for show. I do not look like this for you, bro.
Okay. I really like this poem because it was like my first Kiswahili poem. It's called Bustani. I'm just gonna do a bit of it though. Ninapanda bustani nyumbani, kwani vitu nilivyo navyo ndani haviliki. Samahani, hiyo TV kubwa ila bila umeme hamkai ndani. So this poem is talking about cultivation, and so cultivation not just kupanda yani meaning literally mbegu, but kupanda meaning also like with creativity or with whatever type of like whatever journey you want to go through. TVs and technology are distracting. Sometimes you have to step outside of that distraction to truly cultivate what you wish to gain in the future. So that's what I mean, kwamba mimi napanda bustani, like I'm cultivating my creativity and I'm cultivating something outside of just watching TV and stuff, because luxury is zipo. Sometimes you have to dig deeper than that and cultivate something ujue kwamba kitakuwa. Unajua yani lazima upande kwanza kabla kitu hakijaanza kukua. Huwezi kutegemea magugu utakula au utakula magugu, inabidi upande mbegu. So it's about
Respect. Ozil, respect. Damn.
peace, love, and light. Shout out to all the creatives throughout the whole world.
And if you have an opportunity to do art, do it.
Do it. Just
Pencil,
do it.
crayon, charcoal.
And if people don't
whatever.
get it, just
Yeah.
do it.
Oh, yeah.
Or together, just do it.
Oh, yeah.
Just.
Locks on lockdown sometimes cause I figured there are some itchy fingered niggas with kinky hair triggers. But I stay carefree. Forged in the 21st century, with the world as my teacher but guided by my ancestry. I let you do you. So please return the courtesy, cause I see the world encouraging expression under terms and conditions, the truth in sections where everything outside the norm is a cry for attention. But if you don't like what I do or say, all you gotta do is look away, cause I stay true to me and do things my way. You know me for like a day and all of a sudden you get a say like, nah, okay? I do my best all day. Ashe. Thank you. Yeah.